Hello and welcome to the Essex Boys Murder Case Part 20. Before watching this video, I recommend watching Part 4 onwards on YouTube, as these videos are all about the key individuals and the murder victims' movements on the day of the 6th of December 1995. A quick mention to the Facebook page called The Real Essex Boys Murder Club, which is in capital letters. If you're interested, please feel free to join, as there's some great people on there with a lot of knowledge on this subject. So the next key individual we're going to look at today is Craig Rolfe. The last time we spoke of Craig Rolfe is when he returned from a journey which was on Brook Road near to the Grays police station. We don't know why he made this journey or if he went to meet someone, but according to PC Philip Pullinger, he spoke to Craig Rolfe at about 4:30 p.m. to remind him his girlfriend needs to attend the Grays police station to give a statement in connection with the death of Kevin Whitaker. He then says he saw Craig Rolfe walking away from the Range Rover. So he must have been at his home address by 5:30 p.m, as according to Donna Jagger's statement. She says, Craig phoned me that day and said Mick Steele had contacted Pat Tate and said he wanted to meet with Tucker and Tate so they could go look somewhere where they could land a light aircraft. Me, Craig, Tony Tucker and his girlfriend Anne, Pat Tate and a girl called Claire were going to the Global Net Cafe restaurant for a meal as a pre-celebration due to them all coming into some money very soon. Craig wanted me to have something new to wear that evening and took me to the Lakeside Shopping Centre at 5:40 to 5:45 p.m. Right, I'm just going to stop there because in a statement she says Pat Tate and a girl called Claire were going to the Global Net Cafe restaurant. Well, she wouldn't have known that, as according to the manager of the restaurant, Gary Jackets, he received a call between 6 or 7 p.m. on the 6th of December 1995 to change the booking from 4 seats to 6. There's no phone logs between Donna Jaggers and Craig Rolfe around 6 or 7 p.m. So she wouldn't have known about Pat Tate and Claire also going to the Global Net Cafe. I mean, to me, Donna Jagger's statements, they're just too perfect. The time slots, everything is just too precise. And I'm sure I've read it somewhere, she ended up marrying a police officer who was on the Essex Boys case. I've read through a lot of statements from this case and some people contradict themselves in different statements. The times of witnesses saying they saw people that day are not always consistent with other people's times. For example, Barry Dorman on the 22nd of February 1996, it may have been his second statement, says that Mad Mickey Bowman was the person he bought the Volkswagen Carrara from. His son, Stephen Dorman, gives a statement on the 22nd of February 1996, clearly stating the Volkswagen Carrara was bought off a man named Craig. It's just little things like that you pick up on when you're sifting through all these statements. And to me, Donna Jagger's statement on the 8th of February 1996 is about the gun that was hired by Craig Rolfe and Tony Tucker. And it's word for word perfect. The statement on the 14th of March 1996 is about the intended meeting for that night in Rettendon, as well as stuff leading up to it. It's perfect. Just going back to her statement earlier, she says, he was driving the Range Rover and left me to pick up Tony Tucker, then Pat, then Mickey. So, from their address in Colshot Avenue, which is the red marker up here, and the grey marker over here being the Lakeside shopping centre. And as you can see, it's just a 10-minute journey. Donna Jaggers then says, Craig told me to be ready for 7 p.m. as he dropped her off. This is the last time Donna Jaggers ever saw Craig Rolfe alive again. We do not know if Donna Jaggers took her daughter with her to the Lakeside shopping centre, or her and Craig dropped her off somewhere to be babysat. So, having dropped Donna Jaggers off at the Lakeside shopping centre, which is a red marker here, he's going to be going to Tony Tucker's address, which is Brimmet Lodge in Fobbin, which is the top right hand corner, the grey marker just up there. And he's going to be arriving at Tony Tucker's address at round about 5 to 6, 6 p.m-ish. With Craig Rolfe picking up Tony Tucker first, this probably explains that he got in the front passenger seat of the Range Rover, and it probably explains why Tony Tucker was found dead in the front passenger seat as well. So the next part of the journey, Craig Rolfe and Tony Tucker are down here at the red marker at Tony Tucker's address, and they're going to be travelling along this route here. It's just a 6-minute journey, the grey marker being Pat Tate's address up here. It's just a short journey, so what we know is from Susan Carey's statement is that more than likely Pat Tate was at home at 6 p.m. because he spoke to her on the phone and he said he was going to leave a note for her daughter in the door, which in the end he decided not to bother with the note. So from this information, Craig Rolfe and Tony Tucker have arrived and picked up Pat Tate at around 6 p.m-ish. So the next part of the journey is down to Darren Nichols' testimony and what he said happened that night. We have to take into account he did 26 or so statements, and they were many unrecorded hours with Darren Nichols on the police, and people believe this was to fit Darren Nichols' testimony in with the phone log evidence and witness statements. Darren Nichols said they were going to meet at the Halfway House pub on the A127. And as you can see from Google Maps here, there's actually 2 ways to get to that pub from Gordon Road. The red marker being Pat Tate's address there, on Gordon Road. And up here on the left hand side is the Halfway House pub. The normal route they could have taken would have been along this blue line here. But there's also a different way to get to the Halfway House pub. Which is along this grey route up here. They'd join the junction up here on the A127, and they would have, or could have gone along that route as well. Let's see if I can get a blown up version of that Google Maps. So as you can see, it's a 15-minute journey if you went along this main route here. But I don't think they went that way. I think they went along this route here, along the grey lines, and joined the A127 up there. There is a statement from an Andrew Charles Reynolds. Now he worked at Basildon Tyre Services, and he's known Craig Rolfe since his school days. Tony Tucker, Pat Tate and Craig Rolfe used to take their vehicles to the Basildon Tyre Services to get them fixed, as it was also a garage Now, during a telephone conversation on the 6th of December 1995, Pat had rung up the Basildon Tyre and Car Garage, and he was desperate to get the Polo back for his girlfriend, Lizzie Fletcher. Arrangements were made that if Pat had not turned up by 6 p.m, when they were due to close, then he would leave the Polo on the forecourt with the keys in the glove box. Now, he states, at 6 p.m, on the 6th of December 1995, the garage closed, and I left the Polo on the forecourt with the keys in, as arranged with Pat. He says, I drove along Crairies Farm Road on the A127, which is this route here. And I'll just show you where the garage is. The garage was round about here. And Andrew Charles Reynolds, I think he lived round about here somewhere. So he would have been going on this route here, along this bit here. And obviously with Craig Rolfe driving along this route here, he would have gone up along this route here, because they would have seen each other, as he explains. I headed towards an East Main roundabout. The time was about 6:05 p.m. I saw a Range Rover, which I recognised as the one Craig, Tony and Pat used. I know it was them and their Range Rover. I had seen them in it on several occasions before. I could clearly see Craig was driving. Tony was in the front passenger seat, and there was a stocky male in between the back seats, and I took this to be Pat Tate, as this was the usual way they sat when I had seen them in the past. They were travelling on the other side of the road in the opposite direction to me, heading towards the garage. I thought they were going to collect the Polo. About 9 to 10 p.m. that evening, I had cause to drive past the garage. I looked and saw the Polo had gone, and took it. Pat had collected it. So people, I don't think they were time for Pat Tate to pick up the Polo according to Darren Nichols' time frame in his statements. So if we look at the map, I'd say they must have passed Andrew Reynolds round about here, where I'm circling. Then obviously Mr. Reynolds would have gone this way, and Craig Rolfe would have driven up this way. And they would have gone up here, joined the A127, driven along this journey. And eventually arriving at this roundabout here, and they would have gone up the A128 and used the lay-by entrance and gone to the Halfway House pub using the side entrance. So this is the roundabout they would have used to get to the Halfway House pub that evening. They would have used the lay-by track, which would have taken them to the side car park entrance to the Halfway House pub, which was used by Darren Nichols and Jack Wombs after Mick Steele. And as we know from Darren Nichols' statement, he said Craig Rolfe, Tony Tucker and Pat Tate came into the pub car park using the lay-by side entrance to meet Mick Steele in his Hilux. So in a previous video, I think it was number 19, I showed you the A127 and the Halfway House pub, which had the front entrance, and I spoke about a later video I will be making. I mentioned a roundabout and a bridge Craig Rolfe, Tony Tucker and Pat Tate would be using. Well, this is the one. And as you can see to the left, the A127, with the traffic coming down on the right hand side here, round about here where I've got the cursor now would have been the front entrance to the Halfway House pub. So they're going to go along here and they're going to come off at the first exit, and they're going to be joining the A128, and they would have been travelling up here. And when we get a little bit further up, you'll notice from one of my previous videos, the Mick Steele, Jack Wounds and Darren Nichols would have come down the opposite way to this road. As when they got down here, they turned right into the entrance, whereas Craig Rolfe will be turning left just up here. Here we are, the lay-by entrance as shown in my other video. And he would have driven down this lay-by road here. And eventually he would have arrived at the side entrance to the Halfway House pub. And as you can see, just ahead is the A127, and the front entrance to this pub car park would have been here. So, as Craig Rolfe drives into this car park, he would have turned left and seen Mick Steele's Hilux, which would have been round out here, and Craig Rolfe would have pulled up here right next to it. And they would have arrived at, say, 6:15, 6:20 PM. Because of the wintry conditions that evening, I'd probably go for 6:20 PM. So, according to Darren Nichols' statement, when Craig Rolfe pulls up into the pub car park, he's been instructed by Jack Wounds to move away from the rear of the car park and move to the front, down here closer to the A127 where the front entrance is. Well, let's just have a quick look to see if that Range Rover's there. It spooked me out last time, and it's blue as well. It's still there. Okay, right, so that's it for now, guys and dolls. I'll give you a quick roundup of where the key individuals are. Sarah Saunders at her mum's address in Kingswood, Basildon, up to 3:30 PM. Nipper Ellis is at his home address in Swanage, Dorset, at 5:50 PM. The stolen Fiat Uno Turbo, which was delivered to the Peacock's Gym, has not been collected by Billy Jasper yet. Okay, so if you've been watching these videos from number 4 onwards, I started with the key individuals at 9 AM on the day of the murders, and I'm now up to 6 to 6:20 PM. So I'm coming to the end of these videos. When I first decided to make these videos with the key individuals related to the Essex Boys case, I mean, I thought it would only take about 5 or 6 videos and that'd be it. But as you know, these guys were up to all sorts that day, and it's just taken me more videos to cram it all in. I mean, the amount of research that goes into a 20-minute video, I mean, it's just incredible. It just seems to take forever to do, but I hope you've been enjoying them. So that's it for now. Thank you to the YouTube subscribers. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget, the Real Essex Boys Murder Club is on Facebook. We've got over 18,000 members now, I think. And the group is just getting bigger and stronger every day. Keep getting more requests on a daily basis. There's a number of posts that go on a daily basis covering different angles of the Essex Boys murders. There's also members who've just read the books or seen the films and are interested in the case and would just like to know more. All we ask is respect other people's theories, as we all have our own opinions on what we think happened that night. Last of all, a big thank you to the admins, Amy, Danny, Andrew and Tina, and the moderator Dave. They all do a great job of keeping the group ticking over, and they do a fantastic job. I'm proud of you all, guys and dolls. So, take care until next time.